Okay, I got it.
What is it?
Number three.
Number three. Okay. It's going to be a hard one. So tell us, how does age three tie into the current Arrington today?
Oh my goodness. Taking it back. You know what? I love, well, number three is my favorite number. And I think for me, at little baby Arrington at three was always, even at that age, I was very much entertaining. Like I was dancing around the living room, I was singing, I was just like wanting to just be in everybody's business and be like, hey, come watch me. I want to shows, I want to put a show on for you. So, especially at my grandfather's house, I used to just, you know, back when they had the cassette tapes, in the early 90s, I just press play and would just start to moving and shaking. So, even at that age, I think I was just always like wanting to do this, which is so crazy. Wow, 30 years later, here we are.
So you're a natural.
Thank you.
You're a natural. From age three, if from age three you were popping the cassette tape and moving and grooving, you
Mhm.
already knew that you had it in you.
Probably before I even realized what I was doing. I guess so.
So what fostered you into moving and grooving? Do we have any family members, any role models that sing, dance? Is it something that's traditional within the family?
I like how you said fostered in. Ha, that's good.
You like that?
I like that. You know what? There wasn't really any artists in my family. I grew up in a very religious household. My mother's a
Okay.
preacher. My grandparents were deacon and deaconess. My one of my grandfathers on my dad's side, he always encouraged me to sing, and he would sing back to me and stuff like that. But there were no artists in my family, so it was kind of just like one of those things where they didn't really know how to channel what I was doing until I was a little bit older, and then
Gotcha.
theater kind of came into the picture when I was maybe about 10 or 11. So
So
yeah.
let's talk about 10 or 11 when theater finally came into the picture. Can we talk
hmm
about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was singing in like chorus and honors choir. I performed at the Kennedy Center when I was like 10 years old in DC. And my music teacher actually was like, shout out to Miss Garrity, wherever you are. She
Shout
was
out to
like,
Miss Garrity.
she was like, you know what? You should do this play. That way you can kind of infuse, acting and singing and dancing and everything into one. And I was like, huh, a play. I was like, okay. And then once I did that, I kind of got bit by the acting bug. And I believe my first real show was The Wiz when I was in eighth grade.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so I
my
did The
favorite
Wiz
show.
twice. I love that movie. I love that show. And so I have a very deep history with that play. I played the Scarecrow when I was 13, and then I played the Lion when I was 15. So I always said if I ever did
Okay.
it again, I'd have to be the Tin Man, just so I can say I've done all three. But I don't know. Who knows? But that laid the
Oh,
foundation, I guess.
so those were school productions.
Yeah, I did all the school productions in like middle school and high school, and I even went to college. I'm wearing actually my old college hoodie. He still
Shout out
fits. Shout out to
TCU.
TCU. Yeah, go Frogs. So that's where I got my Bachelor of Arts in the theater and communication studies. And it
Okay.
was kind of through college that I realized I was like, I really want to do film and television. I did theater for such a long time, and nothing against theater. I would always love to come back and maybe do a off Broadway or a Broadway show. But I was like, I really want to focus on film and TV. So yeah,
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Maryland. I'm from the
Okay.
DMV. Shout out to
Baltimore.
DMV. Yeah. Well, actually, I grew up in Clinton, so I was in PG County, so I was closer to DC. But
Okay.
my parents lived in Laurel for a little bit, so I'm like in between Baltimore and DC.
Okay. And you went to school there.
Born and
So
raised.
when did you get like your first major production?
Like in theater and film.
Either or. What came first?
Well, definitely theater. I didn't really start pursuing film and TV till after college.
Okay.
I think once I graduated college, I moved back home because I went to TCU, which is in Texas, in Fort Worth, near Dallas. So like most kids when they graduate college, they don't really got a job, they got a place to stay. So I moved back home with my parents and, did every like ins and out type of job, waiting tables, retail, Six Flags, you name it, I did it. Did a couple community theater productions. But ultimately, I was like, I want to make the leap of faith and move to Los Angeles and do film and TV. So I think my first professional, I guess you could say, is when I did. It was a Wells Fargo commercial that I did back in 2016, and
Okay.
that went national, and that was really cool. I guess that was the first time people had seen me on television. And then, a few years later, then I got the family business.
Let's talk about what led up to you auditioning and grabbing that role. And by the way, nobody can do it like you. Nobody
Thank
can be
you.
Rio like you.
Thank you.
Nobody. I mean, the hair color and
Mhm,
everything.
mhm.
Nobody can do it like you.
I
So perfect
appreciate
pick.
that.
Perfect pick. Let's talk about what led up to that casting.
Yeah, I mean, being in LA, I was just doing any type of thing I could do, whether it was like short films, web series, student films, a lot of free shit. I'm sorry, I don't know if we cuss,
Yeah,
but a
you
lot of
go ahead. Feel free. We grown. We grown.
we grown.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of free shit because there's not one right way to navigate through this business. I was doing a little bit of background work. I was auditioning and it was a grind. It was a hustle. Like I didn't really, have like I had visions and dreams and things I wanted to do, but I didn't know how I was gonna make that happen. But I'm just a firm believer in God's timing, and
Yes.
what's for you is for you. And I ended up just networking a lot because a lot of times this business is all about who you know and who
That's
knows
so
you.
true. I'm in the business too, so I
So you
know.
get it. You get it. It's
Yes.
all about, putting yourself out there. And I think that one of my close friends, she was always going out to different events and she would just have me tag along. And so we went to this lounge called Zen Lounge back in the day. And it was Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin's club. So we
Mm-hmm.
so we would go there and network and stuff like that. And I ended up meeting Trey Haley, who's a director, and we just chopped it up. We were just getting to know each other, you know, just talking about aspirations and my background, and we just got a good rapport with each other. I try to advise like the youth that it's not all about when you meet somebody like here's my headshot, here's my resume. Like a
Yeah.
lot of times, producers, directors, they just want to kick it. They just want to get to feel you as a vibe. They're
Yep.
gonna eventually ask like what you do and all that type of stuff, but they want to get to know the person. They want to get to know, can I be with this person on set for 12 hours? Are they likable? Are they easy to work with? So I left that conversation not really thinking anything of it. And a couple months later, he gives me a call and he's like, hey, I have this project that I'm doing and I think you'd be perfect for it. I would love for you to come and audition for it. And that just ended up being family business. And so, which most people don't know, we started shooting that in 2017. It was supposed to just be a movie. Tridescent Studios, they had a couple like straight to DVD movies. Carl Weber has a bunch of books with a huge following already, but nothing that hit the masses, I guess. And so when we did family business, by 2018, I was kind of like, what's going on with this project? Like, when's the movie coming out? And then they were like, oh no, we're not gonna make this a movie. This is gonna the BET got word of it. It was like, no, we got to make this a television series. It's too good. And so the first season came out. I'll never forget. It came out. It premiered in 2018, the day after my birthday in November 12th. November. My birthday is November 12th. Scorpio season. We coming up.
Scorpio season. Shout out to
We
my
coming up.
Scorpios.
Yeah, yeah. So and it aired on BET, and this is the cable network, y'all. Like we weren't even on. There was no BET Plus
T
at the
plus.
time.
Nope.
Like we were literally on the cable network every Thursday, and we shot out to like top 10 on the Hollywood Reporter. And I think that we were the number one show, and probably still is number one show whenever we come around on BET. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just been such a blessing to have my first series regular be like such a hit, like a popular show. It's just I pinch myself sometimes because I'm like, this is crazy. I'm working with all these legends that I grew up watching, and now this show is taking a a thing of its own. Even down to just like the character Rio. I didn't know who else was going up against me, but I just knew that I saw the opportunity and I was going to take it, and I was just going to authentically be myself. And the colored hair, I always say that kind of just happened organically. We were on set shooting the pilot, and Carl was like, we got to make Rio different, like change his hair color or something. And I was like, okay. And he was like, would you do it? I said, yeah, why not? And it's spray, guys. It's not dye. I would
It
not dye
looks
my hair all those
good.
colors because I'd have no edges today. So it just comes out with shampoo and water. We switch it up. And I think we hadn't seen something like that on television. Like, maybe
No.
like the Cisco's and Dennis Rodman, but never on like a show platform.
Mm.
And it just, now it's something that I'm known for. And we have five. All right, I don't know what that fly is doing. We have 5 seasons now, which is insane. And hoping for a sixth. I'm sure we'll get some news soon. But yeah, it's been a dream come true for real.
You are a full-blown celebrity now. A
I know.
full-blown celebrity.
Which is still weird because I'm so down to earth. I'm so chill. Like, if anybody sees me, I'll be like, you can say hi, you can hug me, you can take pictures, like whatever. Like, my friends be looking like, you don't be acting like you're a celebrity. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I just try to remain humble and remind myself. But it is
Most
weird,
celebrities are
especially,
like that. They're humble.
yeah,
They're
especially, well,
human.
you hope so, because a lot of people,
Yeah.
there are some in the industry that are not. But I will say for me, especially moving from Los Angeles to Atlanta, I've been in Atlanta now for a year and a half.
Okay.
My fan base, they ride hard. Like, y'all ride so hard for me,
Yes.
and I just appreciate
Yes.
y'all. And I'm getting way more recognition, and I'm getting way more love here in Atlanta than I ever did in LA. So that always feels good. Yeah.
How is it working with the cast?
Oh my God, it's so much fun. We be cutting up, y'all. Like, we be cutting up. This show is such a heavy, like, soap opera drama, but when they yell cut, we be laughing, we be joking. Like, it really is a family. Like, all those cast members that I've had from season 1 to now, I think that equates to the success of the show because we genuinely do love each other. We care about each other. I know if I need to call one of my actor friends on the show or text them, they'll pick up. We support each other's projects, and it's just a joy because not everybody has that experience sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And even, like, I remember, my TV mom, the amazingly talented Valerie Pettiford, who plays Chippy. She was like, you are spoiled. She was like, because not every production is gonna be like this. So, a Black production with a Black crew and
Amazing.
just excellent. Like, it's so God fearing on set. Like, we pray for one another, and we just it makes coming to work fun. It doesn't feel like work. It really
It was
doesn't.
meant. It was meant.
Yeah, it
It
really
was meant.
was. Hmm.
And when things are meant, they feel familiar.
Yep.
They feel so familiar. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. It's just the
I
beginning.
can recall watching this last season and binging it, of
Oh
course.
yeah. Oh yes.
I had to binge it. And I can remember getting on Facebook like, so ain't none of them chippy kids, huh?
we got y'all, huh?
Yes.
We got y'all. And then
Yes,
all the
you
people that read
did.
the books were like trying to spoil it. I was like, y'all gotta come on now. They haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
season
got me
5 was lit.
good.
Season
Yes,
five,
it
season five
was.
might honestly be
Be the
my
best
favorite.
one.
Yeah, it
The
really,
best
yeah.
season yet. The
Hmm.
best season yet.
Yeah.
Can you give us any not spoilers, but anything coming up soon for you outside of the family business?
Well, yes, I actually have a new Christmas movie coming on Lifetime.
Okay.
It's called A Very Merry Beauty Salon. It's coming out December 7th, starring and executive produced by Tia Mowry from Sister Sister, who we love.
Nice.
Yeah, so Tia Mowry's in it, Ron Rico Lee is in it, Coco Brown, myself. And it's just,
Beautiful.
we love a Christmas movie. We love a feel good
Yes.
movie. And so filming that was a dream come true because I've followed Tia's career since I was a kid. So I was a little
Hmm.
starstruck for a hot second. Um, but it was just such an amazing experience. And it was so quick. We filmed the movie in 2 weeks
Oh wow.
here in Atlanta. Yeah. And so now it's coming out because Lifetime's, I think they're putting out like so many holiday movies starting in November. So ours will air on Saturday, December 7th. And yeah, that's what I have next. And hopefully some more projects coming soon. And hopefully by next year. I don't want to reveal a date because I don't want to be wrong and y'all come for me. I don't want y'all coming for me.
Because you know
but
they gonna come.
but we gonna claim and manifest season 6 will come out at some point towards the middle of next year, hopefully.
So are you guys, have you wrapped up season 6 already?
Child, we haven't even started. We
Okay.
haven't even started. I know people are like,
Yeah, because we waiting.
listen, I'm waiting because I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get this money. So you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of times, and I always say thank you so much to the fans for being patient with us because we've gone through a lot. I remember when COVID hit and we were literally in the middle of season 2. And so for the last
Mm.
few seasons during the pandemic, we've had to film during a pandemic, where we
Tell us what
were,
that's like. What was that
oh
like?
man. So when season 2, when we were doing that, we filmed the show in Los Angeles. And so when COVID hit, just like everybody, it shut down everything. And
Yeah.
so for like a good 6, 7 months, we couldn't do anything. So once the studios got the clearance for us to go back to filming, shout outs to, Tridescent Studios and BET for taking care of us. We were literally, they would put us in these houses. A lot of the houses that y'all see in the show, we've lived in, like we
Oh,
filmed in. Yeah. And it's like
okay.
a lot of people from the crew or just people that they know. We never shoot the show on a studio lot. We always shoot on location. um,
Nice.
and there's a couple scenes where we've shot on a studio lot, but for the most part we shoot at locations. And so we like to call it the bubble. So it was literally they put all the actors in like a couple of the houses, and that we could I say prison palace because the houses were nice, don't get me wrong, we were taken care of very well, but we could not go nowhere. They were not playing no games. We had to wear our masks. We had to get picked and prodded and all that multiple times a week, and we couldn't go anywhere. So
Wow.
we would go to set, and then once we were done, we would come back, and they would make sure that groceries were there, whatever we needed was there. But I think that brought us even closer as a cast because it was such a unique experience
Yeah.
that actors don't get. Normally, you go to set, you do your thing, and you go home. But since we were forced to live together, we were forced to even get closer as a family because we were pretty much, it was like almost like an adult sleepover. And so we were doing that through seasons 2, 3, 4. And then I
Oh,
think
wow.
this last season wasn't really as strict. It wasn't. But once again, we were in the middle of shooting season 5, and then the strike happened. I don't know if you remember, we had a
Yes, I
strike.
do. Yes, I do.
So it was like we have overcame so much, and if those two things hadn't happened, we'd probably be on season 7 or 8 by now. But I think people have to understand too is that we can't give Carl Weber not only writes all the books, he writes every single episode.
Really?
So the fans can't say, "Oh, well, this didn't happen." No, no, no. The man who wrote it, and you have to
Well,
think
that's some
there's
news we
so
can use. I didn't know that.
yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times because it's Carl's baby. So when you have someone else take it, it
Yeah.
doesn't give the authentic experience. I think that's why the show is so good because it really mirrors the books. Now, maybe some things might be a little bit out of sequential order for film purposes. But if Carl always says if he gave it all to you, there would only be one season. So we're trying to spread it out for as many seasons as we can go, and so it was a very unique experience, but such a fun one. And we went on, some of us, the actors, we went on tour with Carl Weber over the last few months,
Hmm.
which was so much fun because he has a few books. I think he has like 6 or 7 books just on the family business. And one of them being Trouble in Rio, he has me on the cover of it, which is pretty dope. So he invited us this summer to go to different cities and meet and greets and, love up on the fans. And when I tell you that experience, we felt like rock stars. We really did. It was
You
like,
are.
it's one thing to see the love on social media, but to literally be in these cities, Detroit and Baltimore and Atlanta and the Carolinas and Virginia and Chicago, all these places, and see the overwhelming amount of people that showed up and showed us so much love. I was like, wow, like it really, it put into perspective how many people love this show.
Yeah.
and now we're global because when they put the first 4 seasons on Netflix last year, that just blew it up even more. And we couldn't even promote that when it first came out because we were still on strike. But the fact that it still did all the numbers, it still peaked at number 6. That just goes to show how amazing the show is. So,
Absolutely. Have you ever encountered while on tour or even just being in the ATL or anywhere a
mm-hmm.
fan that comes up and relates to Rio?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like there's always a Rio in every family. I feel like there's someone in the family that is different or march to the beat of their own drum. I'll tell you this quick story. When I was in, I want to say it was Richmond. I think it was somewhere in Virginia, one of those tours up there in the DMV. And the lady came up to me and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "I just want to let you know that my daughter, she couldn't be here. She's taking care of her partner. But she said your character is the reason why she came out." And I was almost in tears. I was like, "Oh my God, like
Oh my God.
that's
Call
so
you being of
crazy."
service without even knowing you're being of service.
Just inspiring. I mean, that's part of what we do. And so to feel like there's a certain demographic of people that feel represented on a Black show on this level, and they're just inspired by what I've done with the show, what I've done with the character, it just means everything. It's beautiful.
Not to backtrack, but I want to go back a little bit about you
Yeah.
being casted for this show.
Oh yeah.
I want to share with the audience, like, how many callbacks did you have before did you
Mm.
have any callbacks, or did you just go in there and nail it?
um, I had the audition, and then I don't think I had a callback. I really don't.
Okay,
I think I
Rio.
listen. I came in there. I did what I needed to do. Um, the producers and I, we really felt it felt so genuine and it felt
Yeah.
so natural. It felt like I had known these people before. Some people who actually were either from Texas or from the DMV, like we were just chopping up, and I'm like, wait a minute, y'all, I still got to get to this audition. Like we're just chopping it up, like we had already been family. And so once I auditioned, I think it wasn't too much longer. They had called me and said, "Hey, we want you." So, like I said, what's for you is for you. It just, I look back at that moment, and then there's been so many moments after the show where I've been rejected from projects or just been told no. Still, like I still feel like I'm very new to this, and I just always try to remind myself like being yourself is what's going to get you to the next level, and being authentic and just knowing that what's for you is for you. Rejection is God's protection. So
Absolutely.
I look at things now like if it wasn't meant to be, then it wasn't for me. Nobody else, like you said earlier, I feel like could play Rio. So that
Mhm.
was that was for me. And
So
the
meant.
Christmas movie, that was for me. So it's like I'm in a space now in my life where I just try to look at things from a different lens and just try to not be so hard on myself or critical of myself, and
Yeah.
you know, just trust the timing, because a lot of it is all patience and timing and just being resilient and being determined and not giving up. Because I wanted to give up, trust and believe,
I've been there.
multiple
I've been
times.
there. I've had directors tell me that if they call you to come and cast for that, they want it to be you.
Right,
So give them you.
right.
I've had them tell me that. I've had rejection. I just had a major audition last year that I'm waiting on. So that's
Hmm.
why I wanted you to share the journey about being casted and if you had callbacks
Yeah,
and things like
yeah.
that.
I mean, I've definitely had callbacks for other projects. I've been on a veil. I've been like this close to some major projects that have been out. And so, especially when you get that close, it's so hard not to be like, oh my God, I'm
Mhm.
so close. Like, I really, really want this. But one of my act teachers from back in the day just always used to say, just leave it on the floor, kill it in the room. And then once you leave, just let it go.
Let it
Let it
go.
go. Because you're going to drive yourself insane if you keep thinking about what did I do? Did I do this? How could I have done that better? Why haven't they called me? Like you just can't think like that. You have to just keep going. Yeah.
So a lot of people would ask you if you had any representation prior to getting casted for the family business,
Hmm.
or did you gain representation afterwards?
Um, I like to make it very clear I didn't have no agent or no manager when
Okay.
I got the family business. I had a commercial agent, but that was it. I think throughout the years, throughout the seasons, I've had different agents and managers. We're just gonna keep it all the way real. I just left my agency like a week or two ago, so
Oh,
it's not it's you have to know what works for you. And finding, as I always tell actors, finding the team is always going to be the hardest part. And I'm still finding my team because I've had different agents and the managers in the past that have seen what I've done, want to attach my name and myself to
mhm.
them, and then you get shelved or you get these pipe dreams like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you the next big superstar, I'm gonna take you this level, this level, this level, but then you're not giving me auditions for 5 months, or you don't have the connections, or you don't have the relationships. And so, it's a two-edged sword because on one hand, they can't just guarantee you a booking. They can't
Yeah.
always just you can't always be like, well, what are you doing? Why are you not doing this? Sometimes you have to be patient and just keep going. However, you also don't want to feel like you're just being stagnant and no movement is happening. And if you feel that you need to switch it up, switch your team up, then it's not personal, it's business.
Absolutely.
I've had agents and managers that have definitely renegotiated contracts and stuff like that. And then I also have had agents and managers that, just didn't really serve me and where I was trying to go. And so, I'm just a firm believer that you have to continue to evolve and grow, and just know, use that intuition. If you feel
Mhm.
like this person isn't really serving you, then it might just be time for you to switch your team up and go to someone else. But it's not easy. It's not easy finding the right agent, the right manager. I always tell people, like, you don't need to join the biggest agency or the manager right off the bat, because you're not Denzel Washington, you're not Angela Bassett. So do you want to be on their roster and then you're just a number, or do you
Yeah.
want to be the superstar in a small boutique agency? Because I've learned with being with some larger agencies too, that just because it may work for this person doesn't mean that it may work for you. I've had friends on the same agency as me, and they are booking, they are working left and right. And it just may be that their type is in more of the demand right now.
Yeah.
Or they could just not have the connections like they say they do, so
And
yeah,
you
it can be
find that a
difficult.
lot, huh? People, bossing themselves up and not aren't really bosses, so to speak.
Right. I mean, that was part of the reason why I left LA. I think I was there for 8 years, and even with the success of family business, it was very difficult for me to find another role. I think um, Rio's character is a double-edged sword because I love playing him, but at the same time, trying to distance myself from him has been a
Mm.
little bit of a challenge. But I think, you know, like I said, you got to just trust the timing. And I felt at one point that after the pandemic, I just wasn't happy in LA anymore. And LA is always going to be there, and I'm always going to go back and film stuff in LA. But I just had all my actor friends, especially those of color, that were like, "Yo, you need to come out to Atlanta. It's up and coming. It's new Hollywood. It's more affordable. You're closer to your family." It just made sense to make the move. And I feel like now, being there about a year and a half in, that it definitely confirmed that I made the right choice. Because then I was finally able to book something else.
So Atlanta's home.
It's home for now. I mean, we'll see. I think now the beauty of where we are now is that, like, you don't have to be in New York or LA like it used to be.
Nope.
Now there's so many different places. You got Atlanta, you got Chicago, you got New Orleans, you got, I mean, I heard they're building new studios, in North Carolina and stuff like that. So
Here in
literally
Vegas, we got
in
Warner
Vegas,
Brothers
yeah.
coming, Sony's coming.
Yep,
So
everything's
yeah.
virtual now, so you really don't have to be in the hub, so to speak. You can kind of just be all over, which is cool.
What advice do you have for up and coming artists
Mhm.
that are trying to make it in the industry, that are putting their best foot forward, what sound advice do you have for them?
I would say first get in class, make sure you know what you're doing. Doesn't have to be a 4-year university or whatever, but just get in some type of class because at the end of the day, looks can only go so far. You got to have the talent to back it up. You have to know what you're doing. I would say make sure you have a good group of people around you because that's so important. You are who you surround yourself with. And there's a lot of people in this business that this business can be very shady. It can be very tough, very difficult. So you want to make sure you have a good group of people that are going to keep you grounded, keep you level headed, not just be yes men, but keep it real with you whenever it's time to keep it real. And I would say also, if you're in a smaller town, like don't be afraid to move out of your comfort zone and move. I'm not shy of moving. I've moved a few
Me
times.
either.
So you understand. So you got to go where the opportunity is.
Hmm.
Never take no for an answer, no matter how hard it gets. If you believe in your heart of hearts that this is your calling, your passion, then keep going. You just have to trust God. I'm in more of a space now where I've found the things that have kept me grounded, whether that's prayer, meditation,
Good.
fitness, daily affirmations, I think is so important, journaling.
Yes.
I think you have to believe in yourself no matter what, because there are going to be so many people, especially people of color, that it's going to be hard for us. And they're going to want to make it seem like you can't do it. But I'm living proof that you can make anything happen. You really can. You just have to manifest it, speak it, speak the I ams to yourself all the time. Like, I am attractive. I am talented. I am meant for this. I am going to be wealthy. Like,
Yes.
we got to get rid of this, like, can't and won't and
Yes.
all
And,
that.
and
Like,
talking
it's,
down on ourselves and beating
yeah,
ourselves up, because that's
because
energy
that's
too that we're
power.
putting out there.
Exactly. You got to put out what you want. And you can't,
Absolutely.
you can't limit yourself and doubt yourself or use fear. And I think that we also have to, what else was I going to say? I was going to say, um, mm, I had another point and I lost it, but,
Take
but
your time.
but I would say just figuring out who you are is so important. And I know that even as
Yeah.
adults in our 30s and 40s, we're still figuring out who we are. But the sooner you can own who you are and be authentic, that's what I was going to say. Don't compare yourself to nobody else. It's so
Mm.
easy to do that, especially now with social media. It's so easy to just see what everybody else is doing and following the trends. But just being you is what's going to get you to the next level. I think that once I started to realize what I bring to the table, there's not going to be another Sonya. There's not going to be another Arrington. Like, you have to figure out what is it for you and hone in on that and just go full force. Like, you can't be looking at anybody else's lane. You're going to crash. You got to focus on your own
Absolutely.
lane. You got to stay in your
Absolutely.
lane. And just know that there's enough room for everybody to win. Like, there's no reason for egos and jealousy. That stuff is just going to weigh at you and take at you. So
Hmm.
just remember to enjoy the journey, because it's all a journey. It's not, these overnight sensations now, it's very rare. Most
Yeah.
people, you look at their past, they had a history, they had a story to tell to get to where they are. So just enjoy the journey.
I
They
love
say it's a
that.
sprint, not a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think it's a marathon, not a sprint.
I
You get what
love
I'm
that.
saying?
That was some good advice. Really good
Hmm.
advice. And with that advice being said, share with us some of your struggles throughout your
Um,
journey.
I mean, I definitely suffered through depression.
Mm.
I've definitely suffered. Um, it's this business can take so much out of you. I mean, as actors, we give ourselves, literally ourselves, blood, sweat, and tears to this
Yeah.
business. And so, I've gotten off the path a little bit, maybe party too much, maybe trusted the wrong people. But that's all a part of learning and growing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have such a great family and support system that even in the darkest times, I've been able to lean on my mom or my dad or my sister, or my brothers or my close friends, and just always having like either like a mentor figure or someone that I could look up to, like, yo, like I want to get to that place. Like, what steps did you take, or what route
Mhm.
did you take? And yeah, I think especially during the pandemic, which I feel like was tough on everybody. Like
Yeah.
I'm an extrovert, so I was going crazy. Like, like I didn't have no roommate, no partner, no family, no friend. I was literally stuck in my little bubble for like so long, and it just made me start to read. I think it might have been good in a sense because I think we all were kind of going on autopilot, and I think that forced us to sit down with ourselves and be like,
Yes.
"Who am I?" Like, once we get out of this, like, am I going to continue to be the same person, or am I going to learn something from this and grow as a human being? Because a lot of the game is mental. It's all up here.
Absolutely.
So if
Absolutely.
you're not right up here, then your work is not going to be great. And I think I just had to continue to um, understand my traumas, understand my triggers, understand my, the good things that I have going, and the bad stuff. And, I started to, I don't want to say distance myself, but I think solitude and just really reevaluating like who really is there for me, who really cares for me,
Mhm.
who wants to see me win, because it's those people that were around when I was struggling, still having a job while I'm filming family business for seasons, because just because we're on
Wow.
TV don't make us rich now. Like I still
That's
got one
true.
now,
That's
like it,
true.
we gotta do what we gotta do to pay the light bill at the end of the day. So, I definitely feel like since 2020 to now, I've definitely matured spiritually and intellectually and just mentally. I mean, I'm in my 30s. I ain't gonna say man, but I'm in my 30s, so you just a little bit more wiser, and that keeps me going. I see the bigger picture when you look back at life and you're like, oh man, okay, now I understand why that happened or why that didn't happen. Because someone told me everything that happens to you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you.
For you.
Yeah.
For you
Hmm.
to be 30, you are amazingly mature.
Oh, thank you. I'll be
You have
34
such an
next
old
month.
soul. I'll be
Come
47.
on now, black don't
Well,
crack. Let's
yeah,
go.
not unless you're using it.
Unless you use it, all right? No crack. We don't do that.
So you are so wise for your age, such an old
Mhm.
soul, such an old soul. I love it.
Thank
Um,
you.
with all of that overcoming and battling depression and
Mhm.
backsliding and then getting back up, you got your strength. You
Mhm.
got your strength because you definitely don't look like what you just said you've been through.
Oh, well, thank you. They always say you don't know what someone's been
Yeah, you
through.
never know. You never know.
I've been through it. It's not been easy, not by
Has
a
there
long
ever
shot.
been a time in any of your roles that you've played currently um with the family business and with your new movie, have you been triggered by your character?
Mm, like triggered in what way?
Where a scene or something just you could just relate to it so much from your
Hmm.
character in your life that you just fell into it and maybe you weren't the character anymore. Maybe Arrington was
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Arrington comes out all the time.
Okay.
I always say I feel like Rio is like me on steroids. Like
Okay.
I would not do a lot of the stuff that he does. I ain't robbing people. I ain't, killing people. I ain't, doing drugs. But, I think that there's a lot of me that I try to bring into every role because I feel like it's just like it's that authenticity is what is so interesting and so good.
Yeah.
That's why you can watch someone like Viola Davis or Denzel or Angela just get into their character, and it's like it doesn't feel like they're acting. It's like effortless, but it's
Hmm.
still a lot of effort at the same time. So I've definitely had some scenes during family business where I was like, "Oh, this hitting a little close to home." But I think it's like a lot of actors I think would say that it's very therapeutic and cathartic in a way because life imitates art. So,
Absolutely.
you know, um, I definitely feel like I love the episode in season one where I pretty much tell my dad LC, I'm a ride for the family no matter what, like I just want you to accept me just like everybody else in the family. And I've definitely felt that way, maybe not necessarily with family, but, with close friends or, maybe extended family. So I can definitely say that I've related to what Rio has gone through. But I love that over the seasons we've seen him like develop and show more layers and more depth. And that's all I really wanted to show, was that he's not just a one-dimensional character. So
I've definitely seen you evolve as Rio with throughout the
mhm,
seasons. I've
mhm.
definitely seen. And this last season was you were my
Oh, he
ultimate
was coming
favorite.
hot.
Yes,
He
you were
wasn't
my
playing no
ultimate. I
games.
was like, okay, Rio, come through.
I
Tell
know.
him
I
you
was like,
ain't
it's about damn
playing.
time.
Tell him you ain't playing.
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah, I love that for you. I was
Yeah.
so excited about that season. Any problems ever decompressing from your roles?
Oh no. I mean, I respect the method actors, but that's not me. Once they yell cut, because I can't take, like, I just think it's so difficult. I mean, to those that can, kudos to you, but I just feel like once it's time to get back into normal life, it's time I have to put all that away, because it would just weigh me down. It would just be too much. It would be too heavy, especially if I'm doing like a really heavy scene or something,
Yeah,
like me finding out that, Roman was my brother, in the hospital. That's just so heavy. It's like I just I do what I
I
do
was
and I let
clutching
it
my
go.
pearls.
I know everybody was. So it's kind of like for me, that's why I love, like, when I put on the nice clothes, when I put on the hair, it's like an armor. It just kind of like gets me back into that mode. Even if we haven't shot in like a year, like once we do that, it's like no time has passed and we're locked in, you know.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
Any secrets you can tell us?
Secrets.
Anything we can
Hmm.
look forward to?
Um, who? I don't want to get in trouble, y'all.
See, I don't want you to get in trouble either.
No, 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 no. I think just look forward to more of season 5 and season 6, and just seeing all the different scenarios play out. I'm hoping that, we'll get some triplet action, what I'm
Yes,
saying, together. That would be fun, adopting the new brother in.
because all y'all so
But
badass. I'm sorry, all
oh
three of
yeah,
y'all.
oh yeah. But I'll just say this. I mean, I think some more people gonna start dying.
Oh
I'm just
Lord,
saying. But I can't say nothing
I
yet.
know.
All I know is don't kill me off. But they better not. They
You
wouldn't
better
dare.
not.
They
You better
wouldn't dare.
not. You're gonna lose some viewers.
Exactly. They know better. They know better. But it's just gonna be the same, just more drama, more amazing, looks, and yeah, just some good stuff. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to you. I know I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. That's all I do is
Yeah.
binge.
We
That's
love a good
all I
binge.
do is binge. Yes, I love a good
Yeah,
binge. Is there
yeah.
anything else you want to tell the viewers?
Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Arrington Foster, all one word. You can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever they call it these days. And just, yeah, be on the lookout for a Very Merry Beauty Salon coming out on Lifetime December 7th. And then next year, we're just gonna keep manifesting more TV shows, more movies, all that good stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, Arrington, I want to thank you so much, so much for gracing us with your presence
Oh,
today.
thank you. Thank you for
And
having
hopefully
me.
we could do it again
Yes,
after your movie premieres. I would love to have
yeah.
you back. I
Yes,
truly
I'll come
would.
back anytime, anytime.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, couch potatoes, that wraps us up. Arrington has shit to do. I got shit to do. And we got to go. And we thank you so much for tuning in. Bye
Yes.
bye.